Hello all, welcome to my show. It's been a while. I missed all 20 of you. So a little update, not that y'all give any fuck. Don't have a job anymore, so I'm just roaming around trying to make money. I do not have a job. It's not because of YouTube. I did not do anything because of YouTube, even though, YouTube has been one of the things I want to do back and forth throughout my life. But life happens and blah blah blah, whatever. But that's just a little update for me, and I'm trying to be back on here more frequently. More frequently, and stick to it this time since I have all this free time and I can make my schedule. I mean, besides life insurance, trying to get a license for that, this is what I do now. So great, perfect. To get started, one, my ring light is broken, so I'm using the natural light, and it's funny because my room does not face the sun, so I'm very grateful that this is the light that I'm getting right now at this time of day. Also, I've been thinking while I was driving today about this whole Smiley situation and Baddies and just everything as a whole, and I'm not going to, I will probably repeat some of the things that people have already said, but I also want to bring to light something that I just haven't seen, and I just want to put everything in a different perspective as a whole. So just to get this out the way, I feel like Smiley had no other choice but to make this her storyline. And let me break this down for you as to why I'm saying this. And do you like the setup? It's just my room. It's just my room and a bed. And let's just act like we're just talking in my room about, life and just the silly things that we entertain ourselves with and whatnot. But back to it. Smiley. So with her being introduced to us as a scammer, and I was eating, so I'm not putting on chapstick, I'm sorry. My lips are not dry, they just don't look glossy. Leave me alone. Her being introduced to us as a scammer, it just all makes sense as to why this happened the way it happened. It started with Mariah, and then she texted messaged Suki, and on top of that, saying whatever she said on social media, and then fighting Mariah's sister before, I believe, the chain incident, right? I forgot which one happened first, but it would make more sense for the sister situation to happen first, if I'm not mistaken. But all of that to say, she set herself up to always have some sort of storyline, because I'm not about to make her like Einstein of reality TV or anything. But if you think about it, Mariah wouldn't have a storyline without her. And to be fair a little bit, Suki, well, I know Suki does get into it with Rolly later on, but Suki wouldn't have had a reason to be involved without Smiley. So I know with reality TV, they have a certain way that they set things up, and, they tell people to do this and do that, especially with the whole Scotty and Anna situation. That was already, Scotty fought over Krishan, which was interesting, but we're not going to go there. We're going to start with Smiley first and with that. So to be fair, from someone who comes from being a scammer and wanting to get on Baddies and try to make something of herself, and then being involved with the black market, and you think being involved with the black market, you wouldn't need any type of clout, but I guess she doesn't want to always have to rely on her black marketness and her scammingness. So there's that. I understand the dislike for her, but I can never see myself just fully being like, I can't stand, fucking hate this person that I don't even know that I see on this reality TV. Now, I will say I hate their character. I dislike this character. I'll never say person, because to me, they are all characters until proven otherwise. Nothing can ever be proved because things can look this way on social media and then someone else in their personal life can say this or that. And it's just like, do we really know? Unless the court is involved, do we really know? So there's that. So I will say, even as characters, I really don't feel anything towards anyone at all, to be honest. They are not, it is not their fault that a lot of them are not likable besides being pretty, I suppose. T is hit or miss for me, so there's that. But with Smiley, it's just something missing. And with the miscarriage thing, whether it's true or not, they had to have known that it would look a certain way to the audience with how the producers decided to handle that part of the story, honestly. With Sapphire, Suki's friend, jumping into the mix, and it's like she really is her guard dog, her security in a way. That girl's fucking cute. She looked huge in the recent, what is that, episode 11? The recent episode, she looked huge, like tall, like Megan tall, basically. Megan Thee Stallion tall. So, there's that. I keep hesitating because I'm trying to get something across, and it's just like, what am I trying to get across here? I guess my whole point is being, you can feel however you want to feel about these characters, but Smiley, coming from practically nothing and not really having a big presence before this reality TV shit, I feel like she just had no choice but to stir shit up. And then a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, I've been reading a lot of opinions about this while also having my own opinions. I see a lot from people that she made this for herself, especially with texting Suki and then taking someone's chain. And, with Mariah's sister, I kind of just bucked that up to like, that's always in an audition. It's always going to be someone fighting an audition. So I don't even know why that even became an issue, to be honest, because your sister went to audition, she should have been ready. I don't know. And she didn't look ready. She was ready. But don't act like, it was just a straight target for your sister. But, also I think that's kind of interesting as well, because I didn't know Mariah had a sister. 1, 2, Smiley definitely probably must have known, because she has, like she said, ties to the black market, and she knew where they would be at. Natalie said she popped up everywhere they would be at. She just knew everything, had her number or whatever the fuck she said. So she basically set this up. I'm gonna fuck with her sister. She get this mic or whatever happened, because I kind of forgot. I'm gonna fuck with her sister, and then she ain't gonna be fucking with me, and then boom, 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 and then it's just a domino effect after that. Like I said, I'm not gonna just sit here and say Smiley is some Einstein or something, but I can understand if along the way she was like, all right, bet, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And she may not have expected it to go the way that it went with the whole Sapphire thing that just happened and being ganged up on. But I will say this, I don't think she deserved like basically half the house against her. I kind of would have chalked it up to, this is the game. We are on Baddies East. We're on Baddies. We're on Zeus Network. We're on all types of ratchet TV right now. I would have, and then you can also argue like, yeah, well, that's the game. So yeah, half these bitches are going to be against her. You can't complain about that. So, I mean, all I guess I said, maybe I said a whole bunch of nothing, but I just haven't heard anyone say maybe this was all very strategic of her, and either people were going to be on her side, which a lot of people are like, I just think they did entirely too much, or people were going to be like, nah, she's a liar. She's been lying the whole time. She deserved this. Da 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 da. She's a scammer. She's in the black market, etc., etc. And I mean, it can either be up or down from here for Smiley. So her whole thing is very interesting. I know everybody was very tired of hearing about the chain situation, and it should have been dealt with, but for the story, that's what they have to do. So now we can more so get into this season as a whole, and what everyone's complaints have always been. They don't spend enough time filming, 1, and 2. the girls do not stay in the same home. And I think this all chalks it up to they don't have a budget for that. They're spending so much money doing everything else, I feel like, that they do not have a budget to spend all this time at this place or all this time at that place. And then the whole premise of the show is just them traveling city to city, going to club appearances. Now, I would hope that this can change in the future if they continue. I don't know how much, what north, south, east, but I don't know how much more they can do if there is a next season. But I hope that somebody in their executive CEO world looks at these all the feedback and just think, okay, we need maybe not super unknown girls, but just girls that are the regular everyday baddie. Like, they do have something of their own, but it's not to a high scale of like, we can't relate or something like that. Whatever, who knows? You know, and also just having a slightly different premise, maybe staying in one area, like how the DMV is considered one area. Staying in an area like that where it's kind of, you know, like Atlanta, New York, there's different areas to go to. Staying in some sort of area and just, I'm not going to say do community work, which would be pretty helpful and bring, you know, people into doing something good, but something along those lines of where they're just doing something productive while also getting to their bag or whatever they want to call it. Another thing I kind of want to talk about is that I don't think these girls are as paid as they claim to be. Some of them you can tell that they really do have money, and then some of them it's like, okay, you may have more money than me, but there's something off here. Like, you're not getting paid as much as you claim to be getting paid. You're not as rich as you claim to be. And they just give this false thing of baddiness when they're all borrowing off of each other or giving clothes to each other or shit like that. And everyone has to start from somewhere. But I think what I think about is how they will get in these confessionals and it's like all types of bum bitch this, dusty hoe this, pussy this, da-da-da, or even outside the confessionals in the scenes of how they're going at each other. And I'm like, half of y'all don't even got it like that for real. And if you do, you're not good at handling it, because we see so many times that people really don't get paid what they claim to get paid. So, I mean, I don't want to make this video long because it really wasn't much for me to say. My whole thing with Smiley, of why I even spoke about her particularly, is because as someone coming into the scene, as unknown as she was, at least to me, she had to search it up, because what is everybody talking about? Smiley. That's what everybody is talking about. Smiley and her miscarriage. And Mariah's fucking chain. And without Smiley, Mariah would not have a fucking storyline. At all. At all. So, and then I'm thinking as well, without Anna, Scotty wouldn't have had a storyline. And then without T, even as small as that was, Scotty wouldn't have a storyline. But then also without Scotty, would T really have a storyline? I guess so, because then we have E.T. that was doing the most, and then Rolly that was doing the most. It's just, this whole season by so far of what I've been seeing is a bunch of hoopla. Just a lot of hoopla. Just a bunch of nonsense. Like, we really fought over a chain, and then Mariah didn't even get her own chain, to be fair. In the whole bullying thing, I don't think Smiley was bullying. She was just picking. And it just so happened to be, I'm not going to say Mariah is a big star, because she's not. I know she was on Love and Hip Hop, but she's not a big star. But she was on a bigger network. So I think picking at her was Smiley's best thing she could do, given the circumstances, if she was doing what I think she was doing. So that's pretty interesting to think about. I like that theory, now that I put that all together like that. I don't think any bullying was involved. These are all grown-ass women. I know that Mariah is small, but we're not about to sit here and be like, oh, poor Mariah. Like, it's the same thing with the Whoa Vicky shit. Like, I don't give a fuck how small you are. You came on the show. Anna holds her own, even though she was fighting people that can't fucking fight as big as they are. Like, I don't want to hear about the small shit. Unless you goddamn, like, this high and I'm sitting on this bed, you this short, like, you almost small people type of short. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If you shorter than me, cool. Like, way shorter than me, all right, I can understand. All right, now you just picking on, like, no, you at least 5 feet and some. If you want to come on this show, you have to be prepared for, as small as you are, to fuck some shit up if need be. I don't want to hear all this bullshit. You picked on the smallest. I don't think she did that on purpose, to be honest. And Smiley, to be fair, looked like she was ready to fight Rolly when she threw that water at her. Even though she was feeling sick per se, or so she claimed, she looked like she was ready to throw down. And then she got Mariah down as well, even though Mariah charged at her first. So it's like, I don't think it's any bullying small person anything. I just genuinely feel like she did not feel like fighting, and maybe she really did feel sick. And then the girls even said they saw her throwing up before she went to the hospital and all sorts of stuff. So it could be anything. Even if it's not a miscarriage, it could have been anything, a bug, anything. And someone pointed out, going out to the club is different than getting in a physical tussle, because that is a lot more energy. She could have been in the club just bopping, doing a little twerking, that doesn't take energy. You could stop at any point in time as well, and you could sit the fuck down. So everyone's body is different. That's what it boils down to. I don't dislike or like Smiley as a character. I don't dislike or like anybody truly as a character. I will say though, I like her there. I like Camila there. I like their growth from what I've seen of them previously. I never fully watched Sky's show. I've just watched her fights. But I appreciate them for the aura of like house mother that they give, that Natalie does not give. And I feel like also with Natalie, why she gave them not EP Natalie, even though she never gave them EP Natalie, is because Camila and Sky are there. And even if it wasn't Camila, it'd be Sky. I feel like they knew that those two or one or whatever would have taken the place of house mother over Natalie, even though she's the goddamn EP and she should have been doing that. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, I guess someone has to stir the pot, so we can't really be too mad at that as well. But I'm just going to stop this here. If any of you want me to elaborate on anything that I said here and clear things up, because this was unscripted, I could definitely do that. Just, put in the comments like, oh, what do you mean by this? And da-da-da. But I want to end this by saying these women, how we see them on these shows, keep in mind that this may not always be who they are, even though their morals may be questionable with them even participating in putting their character out there like that. We do not know who they are. These are their characters. They may be using their names, but a lot of them go by nicknames. These are their characters. We don't know them. So when we talk about these women in these forums, on Reddit, on Twitter, on Instagram, etc., we have to be just the least bit respectful and speak about them as a character, not as a human being, as a person. Unless it's something on their social media, then I guess we can't say anything, right? If that's how they're acting on social media. But it's just some things where it's like, it's just getting so personal and people just spend so much energy on it. And I know a lot of us make videos about this stuff, and it's just like us talking about any other show, fictional, non-fiction, reality TV, anime, anything. A lot of people talk about the shows that they watch on YouTube all the time, and that is perfectly fine. But sometimes the way we talk about it, as if these people aren't real people, sometimes that, it's just, for me, it's a weird line to cross. It's a very blurry line at that. And what also kind of makes me uncomfortable is that there are a lot of men that talk about, gay men that talk about these shows and stuff like that. And, I can understand the criticisms with someone's botched situation, stuff like that. But it gets a little bit too vulgar with coming after these women's appearances that it makes me uncomfortable. Like, okay, you're still a dude, and it's like, it's almost borderline misogyny, and I don't really fuck with that. But you know, I can't control it, but I just want some of you guys to keep in mind that although we may not like what they did, I feel like as long as nobody's like assaulting, like, you know, R-wording somebody or killing somebody or putting somebody at absolute physical danger, like where they could be hospitalized type of shit, some of the things are just too much. And you guys get a little bit too personal with these people, like, nah, I don't think she would do this, or nah, we don't know. We don't know where they are mentally. We don't know what they were told to portray to keep whatever spot. People are desperate out here. Times are tough. Money is, you know, money is a thing. Money is getting scarce out here. People are struggling. So I completely understand, while my morals, I try to stick by them, you know, but it gets hard when you don't want to struggle. You don't want to go back to where you were before. So it's almost like you do anything you got to do to take care of yourself or your family. So yeah, that's really all. That's really all I got. You know, I can't control anybody talks about these women. I just want us to keep our humanity intact. That's where we are. Keep our humanity intact. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. I don't know how long this is going to be. I may edit some stuff out. I may make a video for the next episode since I'm kind of sort of back. And yeah. Have a lovely morning, noon, or night. And bless you all.